At the beginning of Psalm 27, David draws our attention to the fact that he is trusting God as a stronghold in spite of the fears that surround him. In verse 2, he speaks of external attacks and threats. He might be giving hypothetical examples when he said an army besieges me and evildoers want to eat my flesh. But in any case, I think he's saying that God is my stronghold in spite of what physically comes against me. And secondly, he reflects on internal disappointments in verse 10, where he says, though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will take me in. Again, this might be hypothetical, but through both cases, he's covering all the bases from the most outward attack on his body to the greatest internal pain in his heart. And he's saying, God is my stronghold. In verse 4, David says, one thing I've asked of the Lord that I will seek after, that I might dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. Now, it's highly unlikely that David is pondering his resignation as a king in order to become a priest. Rather, I think he's yearning for the same kind of unbroken contact with the presence of God that is typified by literally living in the temple courts, like the priests and the Levites. There's a very similar sentiment expressed in Psalm 84, verse 3, when it says, even the sparrow has found a home and a swallow a nest for herself, a place near your altar. See, here the psalmist pictures himself as a bird that is going busily from place to place, but now at last has come home to God. See, what is desired is a sustained and profound sense of God's reality and presence. Notice the repetition in the beginning of verse 4. One thing I have asked of the Lord, that will I seek. This is the language of deep and firm resolve. See, David is determined to find real and continuous fellowship with God. Firstly, he does that by gazing on the beauty of the Lord. And this is a striking phrase and perhaps the center of this psalm. See, gazing means something much more than mere awareness. Gazing is like staring. We can't help ourselves. We can't get enough of what we're looking at. We try to look and look again because we want it to be imprinted on our minds for future replication and recall in times of trouble. Also, David refers to gazing at the beauty of the Lord. And I want to suggest this refers to how God becomes spiritually satisfying to us. Something is beautiful to us if we enjoy it for what it is in itself and not what we get from it. See, adoring is asking for nothing but God himself. So in conclusion, maybe David is saying, I've had intermittent times of fellowship with God, but now I've set my heart toward the Lord in a new way. I want to constantly enjoy his presence in spite of external and internal dangers. May God bless you, Regions Beyond Churches. Amen.